El futuro tiene nada más que la confrontación.
Hey, welcome to You Don't Even Like This Show. I'm your host, Adam Todd Brown. I used to host a podcast called Unpopular Opinion, and that podcast was this podcast. But then everyone else in the world decided they liked the name Unpopular Opinion a lot too, so we changed the name to You Don't Even Like This Show. Each week, me and a couple of guests selected from a pool of the absolute sharpest minds the LA entertainment scene has to offer use this here space to talk about whatever the hell we want. News, pop culture, politics, information, you name it, we talk about it. And sometimes my co-host Jeff May is here too. It's a blast. You're gonna love it. Hey everybody, welcome to You Don't Even Like This Show, a podcast about how Jeff is being a little mockingjay right now.
What? Oh, I'm sorry. Am I not allowed to breathe on the show?
No, you're actually not. I'd like you to hold your breath until I'm done talking. I'm your host, Adam Todd Brown. Are you holding your breath like I asked you to?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
And I'm your co-host, Jeff May. Hey, everybody. It's nice to see you. I've had a really, really wonderful time here. Thank you so much, Adam. You will get my invoice. Bye, everyone.
Wow, what a violation of my trust. I thought you were holding your breath.
I was exhaling the entire time.
That is a shocking heel turn. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the pod. Jeff, how's it going?
Adam, it's never been better.
Right?
Honestly, I got to feel like 2025, this is our year.
This is our year, meaning America's year.
America's year, the year of good.
Yeah. Golden age of America kicking off.
I got to be honest, I feel like we're going to really, really get to the root of this whole Epstein thing this year. I feel like that's going to be very cleared up.
Seems like it.
I have a feeling a lot of people's opinions are going to shift drastically about the Epstein log once they see certain names on there. They're like, it's not that bad.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested to see those Epstein logs because I need more than flight logs at this point. Chris Tucker's on the flight logs and Chris Tucker wasn't.
It's sort of like the Diddy party thing where everyone's like, oh, going to these Diddy parties. It's like, do you think that they were all like this?
Yeah.
Is that what you think? Do you think every single person who's ever known this man?
Yeah, you think Aaliyah was abusing underage kids? Probably not.
No.
Probably not. But hey, we're not talking about any of that, although we are talking about some politics stuff. I know I said we were going to cut back on the politics, but hey, man, they're Nazi saluting at CPAC. Not trying to be complicit here. So
yeah, they're trying. We got to get in before this episode becomes illegal.
Exactly. So we're talking about Nextdoor, which is arguably my least favorite social media app.
Which is hard to. I mean, I think Nextdoor might be a little bit higher in my opinion than Facebook.
Yeah.
Nextdoor doesn't have Kid Rock and Vanilla Ice tour destroys Taylor Swift's concert sales. Or like, maybe it's just me, but rap isn't even real music. Facebook is almost entirely phishing. Also, stop fucking interacting with those.
Yes.
Those are designed to get you. There's a misspelling in them on purpose, folks. You're not a genius because you noticed a misspelling when they're fishing for you to comment that they misspelled something.
Yeah. So yeah, Facebook is probably worse, but Nextdoor, I just hate that it has really normalized snitching on your neighbors.
But snitching in ways that aren't even like crimes, really?
Yeah, more like racially profiling your neighbors.
It's like if Facebook was concentrated in just your neighborhood.
Right.
But it was also like all of the people who like look outside their window anytime a sound happens anywhere.
Yes. And not anymore, but there used to even be a feature on Nextdoor where you could just send your post directly to the police.
I should do that for that time I posted that Under Siege was on AMC.
Nice.
I did that. I was like, hey guys, Under Siege is on AMC. If you guys catch it, like there's still like 40 minutes left. You guys can probably still catch it. And then one guy was just like, oh man, I love that movie. Thanks, man.
Nice. So yeah, the thing that got me I've wanted to talk about Nextdoor for a long time on this podcast, but the thing that finally pushed me over the edge is a new Trump initiative that launches today, actually, as we are recording this. Well, it doesn't launch today. what happens today, which is Friday, February 28th.
It's National Boycott Day.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Don't buy shit from, I know Amazon and Walmart are both.
They basically it's basically don't buy anything from anything that isn't a locally owned store, basically. Yeah.
So if you're listening to this on Monday,
go back in time. Fucking don't
buy local on Friday.
Yeah. Also, maybe try to always do that.
Yeah. But also the thing that's happening today, it's the end of the 2-week ultimatum that the Trump administration gave schools and universities to end any DEI programs or practices that they have in place. And if they don't do that, they are facing federal funding cuts. And people might have been wondering, well, Trump, how are you going to know if there's DEI practices in place in schools? And the answer is simple. The government has launched an online portal for reporting DEI practices in public schools. Finally.
It's about time that we put the power of educational funding into the hands of the people that thought they were putting litter boxes in classrooms.
Yes.
It's about time we give that power to our most gullible, stupid residents. They've voted this way. God, stupid people are doing so fucking good. It's driving me crazy.
Yeah.
But they're doing morally good. Like, they feel good now. And then it's going to hit them that it's just like, oh, yeah, all these policies are actually designed to fuck me over. But I'm too stupid to connect those dots. They're fucking killing it, man.
And what sucks is you like to see when that reckoning finally happens. It's hitting farmers first right away. There have been...
It always does.
A ton of farmers online complaining about how they voted for Trump, but they didn't vote for this. It's like, yeah, you did. Yeah, you voted for federal funding cuts, pal.
Farmers often are the tip of the spear as far as getting screwed over by the government.
Yeah.
If you want to go back a few years to the old ethanol switch.
Oh, yeah.
Which ended up like bankrupting like 30% of farmers or something like that.
Yeah. So this DEI portal, it's a very bare bones kind of site. It looks like the form you use to email a website, basically, because that's what it is. It asks for complaints about discrimination based on race or sex in public schools. And it's pretty clear what sort of discrimination they're talking about.
Should we just send in like complaints from the 50s?
Yeah.
Be like, they took away Black history.
Right.
That's a complaint here.
Yeah. I wonder what would happen if you tried to report discrimination against a person of color through this.
Oh, I bet they'd care.
Portal.
I bet they'd care so hard.
Yeah. I'm sure the government would respond immediately. But yeah, I'm assuming they just mean discrimination against white people. This is a quote from the website. The U.S. Department of Education is committed to ensuring all students have access to meaningful learning free of divisive ideologies and indoctrination. Someone wrote that with a straight fucking face.
The teacher part of me is so furious at this idea that they would even write this down. Like, free of divisive ideologies and indoctrination. You are literally indoctrinating racism.
Yes.
That's literally their plan. I remember one time I got a talking to because I didn't force my kids to say the Pledge of Allegiance. And he's like, yeah, you're not telling your kids to say the Pledge of Allegiance. And I said, yeah, they because we shouldn't.
Yeah, it's weird.
That should be there if they want to pledge. And I never said it when I was there. But I was just like, why? Like, why that's indoctrination. You can't do that. That's such a violation. And he was just like, oh yeah, I guess that's kind of a good point. Like, he didn't even realize it. And he was a social studies teacher.
Yeah. We talked last week about something that has launched in Texas recently called the Blue Bonnet curriculum, which for right now, it's just kindergarten through 5th grade, but they're adding, I think, lessons through 12th grade to it at some point. But it is a school curriculum that, it teaches things like math. It just adds a whole bunch of stories about religion in there. And the thing people really take issue with is it does mention all religions, but it only treats Christianity as like historical fact. And everything else, they're like, yeah, there's Islam out there, but let's talk about actual American history here.
I feel like that's fine. Texas is doing great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they should probably just try to make them not smarter.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, Atlanta, what do? They're so far ahead of the game.
This is a thing people have complained about forever when it comes to right-wingers, is like, how can you say, for example, how can you say, well, we're against censorship? Also, anything that mentions Black history, you have to like take that out of schools. And people will say, okay, but you get that that's censorship, right? What we need to start taking into account is they don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. Check and mate.
There's no contradiction that's going to matter enough. You're not going to reason with someone who launches a DEI reporting website and says it's in the name of anti-discrimination.
Yeah. There's this, I think it's like it's just like a cartoon, but just a general like sort of like memeified thing where it's like, Democrats being, lined up outside of concentration camps being like, I think you'll find this is illegal. Checkmate.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's a whole lot of that so far.
Yeah, they can't do this. Okay, Chuck and Nancy, you want to fucking do something about that?
Yeah.
You're the ones we elected to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, I put a thing on Blue Sky a while back. It was an article where the headline was just something about how Democrats said, we're going to be the resistance. And it's like, you're going to be? You're supposed to have been that.
Yeah, what have you been this whole time?
And so this website, it asks for a email, the school or school district, the zip code of the school or school district, and a description of the discriminatory practice in question, as detailed as possible, but also 450 words or less, please.
That sounds pretty accurate compared to what they want.
Yeah.
Hey, the education people don't want to have to read.
I mean, it's probably a smart guardrail to put in place because you're going to get some fucking rants from people, that's for sure. A fun side note pointed out by The Guardian in an article we'll link to. According to private and government research both, the demographic that benefits from DEI practices the most, white women.
That's clear.
Yeah.
And also the biggest example of a demographic that will shoot themselves in the foot. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, white dudes, sorry, we're the bad guys here. Like, but white women, I don't know what you're doing on this side.
Yeah.
Like, it's seriously, you're just sitting there and you're like, why are you here?
Meanwhile, Oklahoma and Missouri have both recently launched Doge portals. Are we calling it Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency?
I mean, I'm calling it those fuck faces.
Yeah.
Because they're fuck faces, but you can call it Doge if you want, Adam. I won't get mad at you for it. Why not have a fucking memeified goddamn name?
Sure. The Oklahoma portal launched in December 2024, and according to an article from early February, it had received about 250 reports up to that point. Speaking of early February, that's when Missouri launched their portal. Both of them are still online. Here's the thing. If this launched any other time than immediately after Elon Musk became our president, I wouldn't care about this at all. Of course, government waste exists. And if there was a means to report it prior to this, I don't think I'd be nearly as skeptical as I am. But this strikes me as government bootlicker shit.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, the other part about it, too, is like, what's your goal as the citizen that's doing that? That's like the part to me that I find really interesting is like, what's your plan?
Right.
Like, why, what offends you about this?
And I did see, and this is kind of what got me in the mindset of, well, this wouldn't be a terrible thing if it wasn't tied to Elon Musk. One of the examples that was apparently reported was just this like glitch in the system for getting, I believe, a commercial driver's license, where I forget what it was, but it made perfect sense to me that, yeah, you could like hammer that out and make it easier for people to get that license. So
sure. Yeah. We could make life easier a little.
Yeah, like shit like that, fine. But Yeah, I don't know. Is the average person capable of identifying government waste?
I can assure you that they are not.
Because all I'm hearing about all of the government cuts is that we're not actually saving a lot of money doing this.
No, we're actually losing. We're spending a lot of money and then spending even more of it to fix those mistakes because we have hired children to run our government efficiency.
Yeah, I did think it was very funny when they fired everyone in charge of overseeing our nuclear arsenal.
And they can't get a hold of them now?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good stuff.
And damn right. If I was one of those people, I'd be like, no, I'm going to start a fucking blog. Fuck you.
Yeah. I'm gonna be the new it's gonna be called Fired Save America. And it's also gonna be kind of responsible for the downfall.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm sure Doge portals will be coming everywhere soon also.
Well, yeah, you need that because we have to buy everything with Dogecoin.
Yeah, what's the ETA on that? At least it failed in El Salvador.
It will continue to fail, yeah.
Yeah.
But like that's kind of the thing. Like him calling it Doge is just such an example of how fucking lame he is.
Yes.
That he's like, get it like the coin to the moon.
I hate that guy so much.
He sucks. He's just such a fucking loser. Like, how can you be the richest man in the world and be a loser? You're supposed to be the biggest winner. And yet, what a loser.
And yet,
that's like one of those things that it's like somebody needs to tell Elon that while it's possible for a cool person to become rich, it is impossible for a rich person to become cool.
So now let's talk about the original DEI reporting app, Nextdoor. It was founded in 2008, based in San Francisco, launched in the US in 2011, claims to have 88 million users in 315,000 neighborhoods across 11 countries, used by 1 in 3 households.
And they all want to know if those were fireworks or a gunshot.
Yes.
Or every single one of them.
They want to know if you know this black person who walked past their house.
Yeah. Yeah. They need you to know that a coyote has been seen 3 hours ago.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my favorite. Coyote at the corner of Magnolia in Ontario. It's like, is it still there? Is it hanging out smoking a cigarette? What's going on?
I did one because there was a coyote in my neighborhood. So I posted one that was just like, I found somebody's puppy. No tags, but definitely here. So let me know whose this is.
Yeah.
They're like, that's actually a coyote. I'm like, oh, is it?
What?
Is it really? Oh, it's so good. I heard this strange sound. It's probably ghosts. Have you looked into ghosts?
I will say the one thing Nextdoor is legitimately useful for is lost pets.
And me getting my place to live.
Yeah. I mean, it obviously has its benefits, like any social media network.
Now, I used Nextdoor when I was leaving because my old weirdo roommate, the one that looked like Rockabilly Dracula, he had a kid, and his fiance had a kid. And so they kicked me out of the house, And so I posted a thing on Nextdoor that was just like, hey, I want to stay in this neighborhood. So what do you got? And then my roommate's neighbor, who is one of the other versions of a Nextdoor people, also saw that and hooked it up.
Oh, nice.
And then she probably wanted to tell people that black people were in our neighborhood.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like any other social media network. I get that it is going to have its pluses and its benefits, but it is also very much a mechanism for not just giving a voice to paranoia, but fueling it. Because the thing about these apps, including like Citizen is another one, these apps, one, they don't do anything to reduce crime. And two, crime has been dropping pretty much every year for like 3 decades now. And these apps would have you believe that crime is just running rampant through our communities, and we need to be vigilant in reporting every person of color who walks through our neighborhood and posting doorbell video of everyone who rings our doorbell.
Man, I'm just thinking now I should probably get back on Nextdoor and probably just start posting like I saw somebody doing a DEI over on and see what people say. Be like, well, you need to report it here.
Yeah.
They were doing a DEI over at fucking Prime Pizza.
And that is what bothers me about it. It's that aspect of Nextdoor that makes it feel a little more dangerous to me. I mean, the government's already figured out how to use social media to promote its goals. Every government in the world has figured that out. But Nextdoor is different in that it could very easily be used as a thing where your neighbors are sort of weaponized against you.
It's crowdsourced fascism.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's collective. It's a way. It is definitely the point your neighbors out. It's Red Scare shit again.
And we did an episode of Conspiracy the Show not that long ago about how similar the conditions are in the United States right now compared to the first Red Scare. You just throw a different name in there. Now, I mean, you could go immigrants, you could go DEI, you could go trans people. Any of those names, you just substitute that for communism. And we're pretty much right where we were when the first Red Scare started. Except now we have technology that's going to make that report your neighbor's stuff so much easier. And Nextdoor has gone a long way toward normalizing that. It normalizes getting on the internet and being like, hey, this person is not like us, and I need someone to do something about it. It would be as simple as flipping a switch and being like, all right, that's what Nextdoor is for now. Do your neighbors not love Trump enough? Let us know. We'll come deal with it.
Man, it's crazy. Like, honestly, like just the fact that we have just let it get out of hand. I know I say this on the podcast all the time, and obviously I know we exist on the internet, but man, what a fucking mistake.
Yeah.
This whole thing was just a huge fucking mistake. I know, like social media, a lot of good things happen. Most of our people found us this way, but fucking, I want to wake up and just be in a different decade.
Yeah. It's getting legitimately scary now.
It's a problem, yeah.
And I mean, I've been dreading the moment we're at for almost a decade now, since I wrote that first Trump article. And what worries me about sites like Nextdoor is Trump is absolutely going to need an environment like that if he's really going to pull off some Nazi shit.
Oh, people are down.
Oh, they're super down.
Yeah.
And one of the really concerning things is MAGA in and of itself is not a majority of the country, but especially not when you boil it down to the really radical part, which would be the Christian nationalist segment of MAGA. There's not
the cool part.
Yeah, exactly. The part, I've been quoting this line from a documentary called Bad Faith for a couple of weeks now, but that's about Christian nationalism in the United States. And at the end of that, they talk to this guy and they're like, what's it going to take to get you and the other side back together? And he's like, you can't reconcile with evil. They have to be destroyed.
That was an old guy, right?
Yeah, he was old-ish. He looked like he was maybe 60s.
Oh, maybe he's dead now.
No. This documentary came out last year. And the Christian nationalism angle of Trump is really underrated. And they're the ones who have aligned with him. Like, he's their guy that they think is going to take their aims over the finish line. And they're going to need spies. That there's no other way to put it. They're going to need people out there in the community who are like, tell us if there's someone out there who isn't loyal to Trump.
And Adam, we're going to do that. Me and you, baby.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably have to.
Big heel turn.
Yeah, it might be a government requirement. But
finally,
think about East Germany, the Stasi, the secret police there. I looked it up. There were around 270,000 of them, including 180,000 informants. And they kept files on 5.6 million people. So you don't need it to be like a 1-to-1 ratio. You don't need a spy for every fucking person.
Adam, we don't have the resources for that. But you know what we have? We have an app.
We do have an app.
We have an app.
And yeah, I mean,
Sandy, the neighbor, fucking report all your shit.
That's exactly the thing, though. You would have to be pretty, I don't know, you'd have to be naive or you got to be lying to yourself if you don't think Nextdoor could like tomorrow, turn into a mechanism for reporting disloyalty to the government.
I think one of the biggest things too is how absolutely dumb the previous generations are about this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and how they're very much like, well, the police, they're good. Like, they're still stuck on that. Or like, communism is bad. And they're like, okay, but why? And they're like, because it's bad.
Yeah.
And then you get, okay, but why? And then like, I already said, it's bad. And it's just this like Manchurian candidate ass programming that they've received that tells them, oh, it's bad because I was told that it was bad and that I should duck and cover under my desk when a nuclear bomb falls.
Right. Meanwhile, who's dropped the only nuclear weapon in modern warfare history?
Right?
We did, baby.
We did. Fucking USA.
Yeah. And yeah, like I think even mass deportations, eventually that could also very easily turn into a thing where they're like, hey, do you know someone who's undocumented living in the country? Fucking report them through this portal. And, you know, eventually, like, they're going to need to consolidate that into one app. And what better than Nextdoor? I
mean, it does the job.
Yeah. And again, I mentioned East Germany. Mao Zedong used a system of neighborhood informants. In China, there's a way more technical version of that has been revived in recent years now. Among other things, in 2024, a, quote, reward system for reporting illegal religious activities offenses was launched.
Jeez. What specific religion would that be?
Yeah, exactly. Well, in this case, it's Christianity is the one, China, because that one's bigger, I think, in China than Islam. But
what do you think LeBron thinks about this?
Don't mess with his money.
Okay. All right. Just checking.
Yeah.
All right. Just checking.
That is absolutely what he said when Daryl Morey criticized China.
Man, that is so wild to me that he openly said that.
Yeah. It's pretty nuts.
I'd be like, why don't you go show everybody how good of a person you are?
Yeah. In China, this reward system, you get up to $150 for reporting things like private house gatherings.
I report those on Nextdoor all the time.
Yeah, all these apps do, again, is just kind of fuel paranoia and give that paranoia a voice and an audience. And I maintain it would take no time at all to make Nextdoor a government thing. Like
it practically is already. If you think the government isn't at least watching.
Oh, of course.
Nextdoor stuff, like they don't have, like the police aren't on there.
Well, yeah, I already mentioned they had a function at one point where you could just send your post directly to the police, which what is that if not a snitching app?
It's a snitch app.
We also haven't even mentioned some of the controversies that broke out around Nextdoor, especially in 2020 during the George Floyd protests. After George Floyd was murdered by the Minneapolis PD, there was a big scandal where moderators on Nextdoor were deleting Black Lives Matter posts, and they got caught doing it. And what's really interesting to me, when I was researching this, and I'll put this Reddit thread in the show notes so people know I'm not lying, but there's a Reddit, because I went looking for other examples of posts being deleted after I saw that. And one I came across was this Reddit thread where someone claimed that on their neighborhoods next door, they live in an unincorporated town, and there's a debate going about whether they should incorporate or not. And I think it's in California. And what this person claimed is that posts that are against incorporating are getting deleted by moderators.
Interesting.
But what I found really interesting is eventually someone jumped in and was like, well, moderators can't delete posts. That would have, like, they can kick it up to a review board who then can delete posts. And is that what was happening with the George Floyd stuff? Because in both cases, that means those people they're kicking it up to they're not being objective about it. They're just like, well, yeah, I agree. Maybe you should incorporate. So let's delete.
Yeah, like somebody at Nextdoor HQ is really invested in whether or not Chino is going to become incorporated or some shit.
But I'll link to that thread. I thought it was really interesting, especially when people started mentioning that moderators can't delete posts. So because when this happened, Nextdoor came out. I mean, the George Floyd stuff, they were immediately like, yep, that's our fault. Sorry.
Well, you remember very recently, my Instagram account was flagged for sexual solicitation. Nothing I've posted could ever even be misconstrued for that.
Yeah.
I've never done that in DM form, in post form, in nothing, but I talk shit on billionaires.
Yeah.
Also, side note, do you know how fucking hard it is being a white male comic, losing your Instagram, that every time you tell somebody it happened, you have to be like, but not for the reasons that you're afraid you're about to hear.
Exactly.
It's like, it's definitely the kind of thing that I'd be like, I didn't even do nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's
salty about that shit.
Yeah. It's a fucking nightmare, man.
I've like maybe 10%. I've less than 10% of the following I had still.
Yeah. You'll get them back. So yeah, Nextdoor. One of the things they put in place after that George Floyd scandal, one, that's when they stopped with the notify police feature, which I guess that's good.
Yeah.
They also put a feature in place that gives users a warning if they're about to post something that could be construed as racist.
Hey, you're being a racist. Clippy shows up. Hey, everybody.
Want to not be a bigot?
Have you thought about not being a fucking racist piece of shit? Let me help you with that. Here's a library card.
If you even need to do that, just shut your app down for a while and retool it. I think.
If you get, I think for everybody involved, if you're also the person posting,
yeah,
maybe put the phone down, go outside.
Yeah. If you get that message, take it seriously.
Time to recollect.
Yeah.
Time to take a step back. Really look at the big picture here.
Some of those phone notifications are meaningful. My Apple Watch once told me I had low cardio fitness. And I was like, heard, chef. I've been working out since, and it's going up.
Yeah, you look great, man.
Hey, thanks. Some notifications are important. Yeah. And the one that says you're about to be a fucking racist, take it to heart. Sit with it. Think about what you did.
Oh, I can't believe I got the racism push notification again. Good morning. My new app. Maybe you should get the Calm Down app. It's sort of like Calm, but specifically for you.
Yeah. So now let's talk about TikTok.
Ooh, thank God. Thank you, Daddy Trump.
Yeah,
saving the TikTok that you said you were going to destroy. You have proven yourself to be a hero in the eyes of many who are too fucking stupid to understand the process by which this is going.
Yeah, I think it's just, Jeff, clear evidence that Trump has it in him to have a change of heart from time to time, because he was honestly very against TikTok.
He totally was.
He was very against it, Jeff.
But now that he has saved it.
Yeah, now that
is good.
Yeah, now that he's thought about it more, pondered it, listened to the experts, now he's fine with it, and we should save it, and fuck Democrats for wanting to take it away.
As a baby, I was crying because my pacifier was being threatened to be removed. But then the person who threatened to remove my pacifier told me I could keep my pacifier. And now I suck on my pacifier, and I'm a happy little baby.
Exactly that.
Yeah, I get it. Trust me, I cried about my passy 15 minutes ago.
And so now all we got to do to really save TikTok is get an American buyer in place.
Is that all?
That's it.
All we have to do is force this company to sell them to our country?
Yes. And I've been saying forever, I don't think the concern with TikTok is China spying on us. I think we want that algorithm to do nefarious shit to our own people. We meaning the United States.
Yeah, we need somebody morally superior to China, like Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk.
Exactly.
The two pillars of morality.
And one of the people who has been tied to possibly buying TikTok is Larry Ellison.
That's an American-ass name, dude.
It's so American.
Larry? Oh my God. That's the name of like every 50s actor.
Yeah. My best friend as a kid was named Larry. He's a Trump supporter now.
It's a Larry name. It's very American.
Yeah. Stop following me on Facebook in 2016.
Hey, suck shit, Larry. Hope you fucking sprain your ankle today.
Yeah. Larry Ellison, founder of Oracle.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
There's some things people should know about Larry Ellison. He's been bandied about as a possible buyer of TikTok since at least 2020. Larry Ellison created Oracle in 1997 as a CIA-backed project. This is not conspiracy theory shit. This is not rumor. It's not suggestion. It's not innuendo. It is known facts that Oracle started as a CIA project. It is named Oracle because that is the name of a database he helped develop for the CIA. The first version of Oracle, like the first publicly available version, is called Oracle version 2.
I have a question. Can I still do my little dances?
Jeff, yes. I think you will still be able.
I love Larry Ellison.
Yeah, right?
I love him because he's not taking away the thing that I can't live without that I discovered 2 years ago. He can't take that away from me. And I got to be honest, I need a sarcastic chef to make fun of other people's recipes. I need men with abs telling me why women will ruin your life.
I do like that chef reactions guy, though. He's very funny.
What's really great about him is just the amount of energy that he puts into things.
Yeah.
And also that some things look really great and he just likes to be mean.
Yeah. I mean, he's nice sometimes. Like
sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. I like that guy. It's funny.
Also, though, but like lip syncing. Who doesn't love that? Who doesn't love seeing old VHS tapes of somebody when they were lip syncing in 12th grade and is like, this should be in higher definition and it should be available for all to see?
Yeah. I mean, my favorite genre of video is people watching videos. Like there would be someone else's video and it's just someone.
And then a guy will be like,
nodding. Mm-hmm.
Those people, I hope they do lose their jobs.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that might be the biggest remora job. That is you are a parasite if you do that. You are a literal parasite.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like in the negative description of what a parasite is socially. I'm saying that you are a scientifically defined parasite if that's what you do.
Yeah, I agree. So back to Larry Ellison. Again,
American name.
First version of Oracle was called Oracle version 2. Because the real first version of Oracle was just a CIA project.
Oh, is this like how the Traveling Wilburys second album was called Greatest Hits Volume 3?
Yes, exactly that.
Oh, yeah.
And when Oracle version 2 was unleashed on the world, Larry Ellison immediately won contracts with the likes of the CIA, Navy intelligence, one of the most underrated intelligence apparatus in.
Yeah, because they know what's going on in the sea, dude.
Well, they're our oldest. They've been... because we used to fight all our wars on the ocean, you know?
On ships.
Air Force Intelligence and the NSA. He won contracts for Oracle version 2 with all of those government agencies.
The Army's got to step up their Oracle game, man.
Oh, I'm sure they've gotten it since. These are just the ones he got right out of the gate.
Oh, they bought late.
And ever since 9/11, Larry Ellison has been stating publicly that he wants to build a massive database with as much data on every American as possible.
Hey, Adam, what do you do when somebody says that out loud?
Nothing.
You do nothing. You just let them collect data on as much data as they can on every human being. Okay. Nobody do anything about that.
Well, I mean, what we did in response to this is demanded that we start calling French toast freedom toast and French fries freedom fries.
Oh, we're continuing the important fights.
Yeah. We banned the Dixie Chicks.
You mean the chicks?
Sorry.
Adam.
No, this was a pre-woke America, Jeff. They were still the Dixie Chicks.
Man, the energy in 2003 was just fucking
absolutely
had
wild.
To be there, folks. If you wanted dumb patriotism, oh God, it was so good.
Yeah.
Cheap flags, as far as I could see. The magnetic ribbon industry was exploding, folks.
Yeah. I remember there was a meme going around back then that was just a yellow ribbon that just said support the yellow ribbon industry.
I had a friend that made and sold one that says support the magnetic ribbon industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ellison, ever since 9/11, this is his quote this is one of the quotes we will share. This one is Larry Ellison in 2002. Creating such a database is technically simple. All we have to do is copy information from the hundreds of separate law enforcement databases into a single database. A national security database could be built in a few months. That's Larry Ellison in 2002. And I will remind people, we're talking about an administration that at least just starting with immigrants wants to be able to round up millions of people and get them out of the country. That's going to require surveillance. That's going to require spying. That's going to require people telling on people. And Larry Ellison, your potential TikTok savior, is the guy that wants to make all that possible.
Adam dances. Honestly, like, it sounds to me like you're trying to like really shine a bad light on this. It sounds like you might think that there are negative repercussions to this, but I cannot stress to you enough. You could do a thread, or you could do like an edit of a song and put it over like a dog.
That's true.
You know, like, I don't understand
when you put it that way.
Like, you sound un-American.
Oh, I am.
You sound like I got to be 100% honest, man. I got to go on Nextdoor. Hold on, let me get my phone. And I need to report this because you sound like you don't want me to watch somebody dancing outside of their car.
Can we pause? My doorbell's ringing for some reason.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe you should check into that. Okay? Because it sounds to me like you don't understand why TikTok is the most important thing that ever existed. And that is because me, as a stand-up comedian, needs to do lazy crowd work in order to get a career.
Correct.
And TikTok will build that for me.
It sure will.
TikTok will show people how funny I am because I posted a 9-second clip.
And in exchange, all we got to do is turn all our data over to a guy who wants to use a database to spy on us with it.
Anything for a career in comedy so I can get onto a late night show that nobody watches.
Goddamn right. There is, if you look into it, a kind of revolving door between Oracle and the CIA when it comes to employment. You have
It's like trading.
Yeah, kind of.
Like when the WWE would let wrestling territories, their guys have them in it.
Yeah, but you see, like, if you just look into the history of Oracle, there's all these dudes who worked for the CIA for decades, who left and went to join the board for Oracle. There's people who worked for Oracle for a long time who left and went to join the CIA. This is essentially a government outfit. It's a private company, or it's a publicly traded company, but for all intents and purposes, Oracle is a CIA company.
You know who I think needs to own TikTok?
Who?
The CIA.
I mean, they were big investors in Google Earth. They were big investors in Facebook.
Adam, what does it matter if they have my personal information? Because I haven't done anything illegal as of right now.
As of right now, yeah.
Nothing I have done has been declared illegal yet.
Right.
So if I have nothing to hide, why are you trying to take my TikTok dances away from me?
Yeah. I don't know. It's unfair. It's unfair. This is another quote from Larry Ellison in the early 2000s. The Oracle database is used to keep track of basically everything. The information about your banks, your checking balance, your savings balance is stored in an Oracle database. Your airline reservation is stored in an Oracle database. What books you bought on Amazon is stored in an Oracle database. Your profile on Yahoo is stored in an Oracle database. End quote. So that's comforting.
That is a sentence that spans a lot of decades.
Yeah, it sure does.
Like the shit you buy on Amazon is stored on a database. Your Yahoo profile. Oh, he's like, your Friendster account is stored in the database.
Early 2000s. So he's, talking about the tech that was available.
Yeah. Back when Amazon was mostly just like, what books and DVDs you bought.
Yeah. And then in 2024, Larry Ellison started talking about how we can combine that database with AI to keep everyone on their best behavior. Here's another quote. Every police officer is going to be supervised at all times. Fine. I'm with you so far. If there's a problem, AI will report that problem to the appropriate person. Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting. There are so many opportunities to exploit AI. End quote. So yeah, we got to sell TikTok to Larry Ellison.
I'm vibrating with the sentence that I want to say, but I know it will never make it to air. So we'll just say the lesson of almost every science fiction movie that you've ever enjoyed is the government should have more access to you. And definitely letting an algorithm build off of that is the best thing you could possibly do.
Yeah, there aren't several dystopian future novels based on a omnipotent algorithm or computer program of some sort controlling our lives. It's never, we should write something like that. That sounds very interesting.
People that would believe this kind of statement are the same people that think that RoboCop's plot and theme is a man becomes a robot cop. They think, you know what I like about RoboCop? No politics. That Verhoeven, there's actually a great, if you ever look at like what the critics thought of Starship Troopers when it came out, even like some of the smartest critics in the world did not understand. They were like, you know, it actually seems like, you know, the good guys are actually, they give them fascist undertones. How can I like this? You don't like, I think Roger Ebert with Starship Troopers says, it's unbelievable to think a man that was behind the ideas of something as brilliant as RoboCop would put something out like Starship Troopers with no context. And it's just like, Roger Ebert.
Yeah.
You are supposed to be the best film critic. How did you miss this one?
Yeah, that's wild. And it's such a common trope in science fiction novels, fucking young adult novels, all this shit.
This is why Black Mirror's done. You know that, right? He's just like,
no,
I can't.
They're working on another season.
When he's like, and then we're done.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just like, what's the point now? He's like, they're doing all the stuff.
Right.
We tried to show you how bad this stuff was, and you guys were like, but my dad says.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know that there's any way to stop this at this point.
It's sort of like Bread and Circuses is about distraction, not about getting you on their side. Like, I mean, kind of, I guess it is a little bit, but I love that, like the Bread and Circuses thing. And it's just like, wow, we're actually doing it.
Yeah, we are actually doing it. And I don't know. You're right. There's nothing. I feel like there is a significant part of the U.S. population where you're just not going to be able to tell them shit about TikTok because they're like, but I sell my fucking farm to table butter on TikTok. And that's all that matters.
Yeah, it's like I get it in the comments all the time when I say Amazon is a very bad company and it is bad for you. And then one person's like, well, I live in this place and I need it. And I'm like, well, maybe this isn't about you then.
Yeah.
Like maybe I'm talking to people that live in lush and illustrious cities that have lots of opportunities and lots of local businesses that need your support, that are run by immigrants and people of color and not the richest Lex Luthor in the world.
Yeah. So, yeah, I feel like every episode lately, it's like, how do we end this episode? Like there's no good news I can end on. The fucking CIA is trying to buy the biggest social media network. I mean, not the biggest, but the hottest. And
the new hotness.
And the one that is just like notorious for influencing public opinion and people's feelings and emotions.
And it is the one that is ingrained in the DNA of our youngest people that we're also trying to indoctrinate with anti-woke propaganda.
Yeah. There was a story a few years ago that somehow only got published on Yahoo News, I believe, about how...
Oh, so Oracle has that information then.
Yeah, well, exactly. The Postal Inspection Service has been, for years now, monitoring social media for inflammatory posts. And when they sold the idea to Democrats, they were like, we're going to spy on right-wingers with it. And then they went to Republicans and were like, we're going to spy on Antifa and Black Lives Matter with it. And both sides were like, cool. So now the post office is watching your social media for inflammatory posts. How hard would it be to flip that into something where the post office is like, hey, this guy doesn't like the government? You know, the intelligence agency that's tied to the government outfit that sends someone to your door every day.
Yeah.
Nothing unsettling about that at all.
I just want my Archie McPhee catalog post office.
Yeah, please.
I want to get a small stuffed pig or something. That's not what I signed up for.
And I've brought this up a bunch. I covered a book on Conspiracy the Show that's called The CIA and the Cult of Intelligence. And it was the first book the American government ever tried to get censored. Like they took it to court to try and get it censored. It was written by this ex-CIA agent turned whistleblower, sort of turned anti-Semite later in life, but that's neither here nor there.
We all got to have a thing, Adam.
Exactly. Everyone's got to have a hustle post
Gotta have a hook, side hustle.
And one of the things that comes up in that book as like a real like dystopian future sort of thing is, man, someday the post office might just be able to like have at least an image of every piece of mail that's sent to your home. That's a thing you can just opt into now, in case your mailbox is far away and you want to know if you need to exert the effort to go check your mail or not. The post office will just send you scans of all your mail. That was a nightmare in the 70s, and now it's a thing we just willingly opt into.
Folks, you got to stop sacrificing like the little civil liberties that you think don't matter for the mild comfort of ease.
Yeah, I would also, a thing I've been railing against forever, I don't even see them as much anymore because I think they probably served their purpose. But any fucking rando app on your phone that's like, hey, upload a bunch of pictures. We'll make you look like you're 90 years old and you can post it on social media.
Don't do that.
Don't fucking do that. Or at least read the terms of conditions and find out what AI you're training.
Yeah.
Because that's absolutely what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of I don't know.
Yeah, we're here. Like we are where all the science fiction novels said we were headed. Like we're there in terms of surveillance. We just need the right administration to flip that switch and turn it on. And I feel like we have the right administration. I brought this up in Broad Daylight, which I only did an audio version this week, sue me. But
I am going to do that.
You should. You absolutely should. My nightmare scenario for Trump's America, he's going to have to demonize someone beyond immigrants. Like immigrants, that's going to get immigrants out of the country. But
I mean, they've got lots of people they can demonize. Don't worry.
Well, what I can really picture happening is if mass deportations really take off, because it's kind of a fucking smoke and mirror show right now. There's an article out there about how Google has been changing timestamps on stories about deportations to make them seem like they're happening now. And then when you dig into it, it's like shit that happened in 2021 and whatnot. But if those deportations really take off and we start seeing mass protests, that's where you're going to see Trump cracking down and really fucking locking people up. And all it would take is him declaring some sort of national emergency or state of emergency over protests. And then all fucking bets are off. It's what Bukele did in El Salvador. He declared a state of emergency and constitutional freedoms have been gone ever since. And Trump could get away with that here. No one's stopping him from doing shit.
No, we've rolled out a red carpet for his fascism.
We have. And in Broad Daylight episode, I mentioned there's a Human Rights Watch article out there about Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador, from 2021, where he tried or 2020 actually, where he tried some January 6th type shit, where he had the military storm the legislative assembly to basically conduct a vote at gunpoint. And the Supreme Court ruled that nothing that came up in that meeting could be made into law. And Human Rights Watch was like, oh, see, this is a win for democracy. The guardrails held. Maybe 2 years later, those guardrails were gone. That motherfucker fired everyone who opposed him on the Supreme Court.
I am loving all the talk about the blue wave that's going to be hitting these midterm elections. And I'm like, buddy, if you think fair elections aren't an option anymore, you are insane.
Yeah.
Voter suppression is going to be at an all-time high.
Oh, yeah. Voter suppression. And go listen to that In Broad Daylight episode, because I really do think El Salvador is kind of a roadmap for where we're trying to go. Because that guy, for one thing, he started as a Democrat, just like Trump, started as a leftist, and then eventually slowly started moving to the right. And then he takes office and they're like, hey, are you still a Democrat or are you on the right? He's like, I don't believe in political ideologies anymore.
And if you ask me that question again, I'm putting you in the camps.
Yeah. And he has just been locking people up and running roughshod over the government, and no one does shit about it.
That's one of those things where when people are like, communism doesn't work. Look at Mao and look at Stalin. And I'm like, oh, do you think communism was the reason that those things didn't work and not that absolute monster psychopaths were in charge of them.
Right. Or if you're saying communism doesn't work and pointing to pretty much any country in Latin America from like the 60s on.
It didn't work because we broke it.
Yeah. It like even Venezuela. We tried to take Hugo Chavez out of office like a few days after he got elected, and the people of Venezuela fucking snapped to the point that we were like, fine, have your duly elected president.
Yeah, we're starting to, I think people are starting to realize we've never really been fully the good guys. You know?
Yeah.
Like now that we're like aligning with like most of George Bush's axis of evil, we're starting to be like, I don't think like the messaging is on point here anymore.
And it's so frustrating because there's things like reform the FBI. Yeah, of course. The FBI needs to be reformed. Not the way they're trying to fucking do it.
Nope.
And like, USAID. USAID is a legitimately very controversial outfit that has done a lot in the way of regime change in other countries. And it's like, yeah, like we can reform that. We can shut that down, but not if it means we're just going to align with other fucking tyrants on the world stage. That's not a step in the right direction. That's a lateral move at best.
Yeah, we're starting to line up with North Korea a little bit.
A little bit.
Dipping our toes in the old NK, you know?
Oh, but communists are bad, Jeff. Don't forget that.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Communism is bad. So.
Well, let's buy some cheaply made in China American flags.
Yeah.
And take care of that. Remember when Walmart used to be like, everything we sell is made in America? And then one time they were just like, nah,
just joking.
JK, LOL. We were doing a bit. We don't care about the country. We want to fucking bankrupt you and send all of our fucking employees into the poorhouse.
Yeah. They're like made in America. And then you see an asterisk, just the made in America tag was sewed on in America.
Yeah. We made this tag in America. It was very important. And also we had to outsource that. Made in Latin America, the tags.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know where we end with this. Like I've been saying for the past 10 minutes.
Adam, I think we end the way we always end an episode, with a TikTok dance.
Hey!
TikTok. Turns out we both broke our legs.
Yeah, me and Jeff are in the hospital now.
Yeah, we are men in our 40s.
So yeah, stop snitching on Nextdoor. I think I would just add, Nextdoor and TikTok to my burn Facebook to the ground theory. Those two also. X, fuck it, burn down Blue Sky if we need to. Burn them all down.
I just got my first viral tweet on Blue Sky.
Burn them all down. We'll start over.
We'll just find another terrible billionaire. Bring just MySpace.
Yeah. I feel like Mark Cuban's going to try to run for president as a Democrat, and no, thank you.
Rejected.
Yeah. No.
Man, I know that people are like, the Bernie bros ruined everything, but oh boy, imagine if he won.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Like, I know people like to do whatever, but like clearly the Democratic establishment made it so that he would not win.
Yeah, I'm more and more convinced there isn't really a Democratic and Republican establishment. I mean,
like Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who was like basically outed as.
No. Don't get me wrong. I know they fucked Bernie over. I just don't think. I think our government is more unified than people give it credit for. And a lot of this shit is wrestling shit. I don't think Bernie ever had a fucking chance.
I think Carlin's bit, it's a big club and you ain't in it.
Yeah.
They're.
And I mean, it's the same thing. Like, that's what, like, we are where Venezuela was when they elected Hugo Chavez. Venezuela, for the longest time, had two parties, always controlled by white men, and they would just kind of trade off on running the country. They had very similar policies, but like a little different, like Republicans and Democrats now. And eventually, Hugo Chavez was the first non-white person elected president in Venezuela, which is fucking nuts.
Weird, right?
And once that happened, we were like, oh no, we're going to fuck that up. You're not going to go feeding people in our half of the world without us saying something about it.
Yeah. How dare you?
And I feel like I've said this before. I feel like America, as far as the government, wants Trump because they want to do Nazi shit, but they want to blame it on someone. They want to be like, oh, fuck, this tyrant got in and took over and now the Constitution's changed and oops, we own Greenland now. But don't worry, a Democrat will be back in office eventually. Are we going to give Greenland back? No, that would be very complicated.
Oh, that would be.
Are we going to put DEI practices back? No, Trump enshrined that in the Constitution. But beyond that, yeah, you got your Democrat back in office now. Enjoy, America. All the immigrants are gone. Like, it feels like wrestling shit to me. It doesn't. That's why Democrats aren't doing shit. Democrats don't want to do shit.
They want to ask me for $5.
If I get one more fucking email from John Fetterman, how did I start getting emails from goddamn John Fetterman?
He's a fucking traitor.
He's fucking, like, go back to playing bass in Godsmack like you belong.
Yeah, you fucking.
Jesus.
He is absolutely the bouncer outside of a crust punk club.
Yeah. Yeah, John Fetterman can fuck right off. I mean, a lot of Democrats right now can fuck right off because they're not doing shit. And I think, again, it's because they don't want to do shit. They didn't want to do shit about Palestine. They don't want to do shit about deportations. And they don't want to do shit about Trump. This is what America fucking wants. And it's what we're going to get. And it's what we fucking deserve. Yay!
Hey, yeah, look at us. We're doing great.
All right. The resistance, baby. And I think that's our episode. God damn it. Yeah. Jeff, thanks for doing the pod as always.
Yeah, no, I get it. If you bought anything 3 days ago, you're a bad person.
Yeah, don't.
So you guys know, if this is Monday, you're listening and you bought something on Friday, man, fuck you.
Fuck yeah.
You fucking traitor.
Ugh.
Simping for the fucking billionaires.
Fucking dicks. And that's it. What do we got to plug before we get out of here? I just fucking follow me on Blue Sky, I guess. AdamToddBrown.bsky.social. That's Todd with 1D. And, you know, other stuff. You don't even like sports. We'll be back soon. I mean, we've been doing episodes. It's back.
We ping a few out there, yeah.
Yeah. Jeff, what do you want to plug?
I mean, I'm at Hey There Jeffro on most social media. On Instagram, I'm at Hey There Jeffro 2, just the number 2.
Just the number
Jeff
2.
Has Cool Cards is my YouTube page. Fucking, you're listening. Go there. I hear you. I see you're here.
Yeah, why don't you go there?
Why aren't you fucking following Adam on YouTube either?
Yeah. Why aren't you following me?
Why aren't you helping?
Help.
On top of that, patreon.com/Jeff May. You can get early access to uncensored episodes with bonus content of shows like Jeff Has Cool Friends, as well as Nerd with Dre Alvarez, and Ugg Fine with Kim Crawl. Really got that. Let's see. Tom and Jeff watch Batman Gamefully Unemployed. Fucking Mint on Card. Second Friday of every month. Blast from Task from beautiful Magnolia, Burbank, California. Next month is going to have Adam Todd Brown.
Yay.
Fucking bye.
Goodbye, everybody. We love you.
We love you.
That was good.
Yeah, it was great, man. Hey, great job.
Hey, that was fun.
Hey, look at us. We're doing such a good time.
Yeah, that was good timing.
Bring a blood object to Bristol Street.